Hi, I'm Bill Donohue, president of the Catholic League. Mike McDonald can't join us this week, so I'm doing it solo here. I'll give you a little wrap up of what we've been doing. A lot of very deceitful kinds of actions that we've had to deal with this past week. We began with this guy, David Ferriero. He's the U.S. archivist. He made a big splash about him retiring and saying that, telling the White House, the Biden administration, make sure you don't hire another white person, another white man for this job. Isn't it so convenient when this guy's retiring, on the eve of his retirement, he decides that all of a sudden affirmative action is something that's at the top of his list? If the man had any integrity and any honesty, he would have quit as soon as he got the job many years ago. He would have said, "We already have nine white men in this job, and that would make me number 10." But no, he didn't do that. He waited to the end. In fact, he said in January, "I'm going to be retiring." He's not even retiring now until April, so he could quit at any time he wants. The guy's a rank hypocrite. Uh, on top of that, when I find out that one of his employees said that he's a phony when it comes to race. Here's a guy who has a task force on racism. He's really against racism. Oh, really? Danielle Blumenthal, she has a PhD. She worked for him. She said the U.S. Archivist Office is absolutely loaded with systemic racism. Now, if she's right about that assessment, then he's a hypocrite on race as he is on sex. These people are contemptible. And they want us, of course, to abide by the affirmative action strictures, but never applied to themselves. We also dealt with a situation here. Back in the beginning of March, I wrote a letter to the head of the National Independent Association of Independent Schools, Donna Oram. I gave her 3 weeks to respond. I had read an article in Breitbart, which does some very good work, about how this organization, which represents private schools, independent schools, was training teachers how to tell other teachers about to sexually indoctrinate young kids. We're talking about pre-K, asking pre-K kids, 5 years of age, are you satisfied with your body? Does your head and your body kind of connect? In other words, they're trying to encourage them to transition to the sex. People, this is child abuse. I've said it before. We're going to continue to say it again. And not only that, but they're involved in parental abuse. Why? Because this is explicitly done behind the backs of parents. We have the evidence. It's up on our website about this. We're not exaggerating, not to engage in hyperbole here. We just simply quote what they've said. She couldn't answer me, and we sent it out to the Board of Trustees, and they couldn't answer either. These people need to be stopped. The madness on transgenderism is at an all-time high. Another thing that we dealt with this week, we came to the rescue of our Polish friends, of which we have many good Polish Catholic friends. One of my friends, Ron Richlick, is a professor at Ole Miss, University of Mississippi. He alerted me to this publication. It's actually a book. It's a graphic comic. It's been around for a long time. Big bestseller by Art Spiegelman. It's called Moss. It's about teaching little kids how the Poles were victimizing innocent people in Poland. As a matter of fact, the Poles were themselves victimized. Polish Jews and Polish Catholics were punished by the Nazis, and they made them out to be, quote, pigs. In the depiction in Moss, Spiegelman has the illustrations of Polish people and Catholics as pigs. And we know what the implications are for that. Imagine if you're a Polish kid and you're reading a book about your own people. They're teaching you that your own people are evil, that your heritage is Hitlerian. No group, no ethnic group suffered more, outside of Jews, obviously, than did Poles in World War II. And to depict them in this way as Holocaust victimizers, as opposed to victims, is invidious and indefensible. We also, and by the way, they're trying to say, listen, if you're a responsible person in a school district, you shouldn't have this book as part of the recommended or required readings. We also dealt this week, at the end of the week, with Citigroup, Citibank, Citi as they call it. They're all over. They're big here in New York City. And they're involved now, believe it or not, in telling women, if you come from a state like Texas where they have restrictive abortion laws, we're going to pay for you to leave Texas or some other state where the laws on abortion are rather restrictive. We're going to pay for you to come to New York or some other place where they love abortions. California loves abortions. And we're going to pay for your hotel fees. We're going to pay for your airfare. I mean, this is mind-boggling. Citibank, Citicorp, Goldman Sachs, all these groups, none of them should be involved in either the pro-life side, and I'm pro-life, or the pro-abortion side. They should just simply be involved in business. When people buy a stock in Citi, they expect a maximum return on their investment. They don't expect to be paying for the elites, corporate elites' political preferences. So what I'm arguing for is that some of these people, like some of the males in Texas, you know what you ought to do? You ought to sabotage Citi. What you ought to do is you ought to claim that you're a woman. Yeah, Citi is big on the transition stuff. Claim you're a woman and you're pregnant, and you want to go to New York to have your abortion. Well, I know this is all madness, people, but the madness begins with Citi when they say that anybody can transition. So the men should claim that they're pregnant, they want to abort their kid, and then if Citi doesn't agree, then I would sue them. Sue them on the basis of sex discrimination. That's the only way you're going to make any progress. Kind of blow this up on these people, because it's at a level which is stunning even to us at the Catholic League, and we've been watching this stuff for quite a while. I want to encourage all of you, if you're not on our email list, please do so, because we put the contact email of the people who have offended us there, and that's how we're able to win in these culture wars. We need you. Doesn't cost you any money. We'd like you to become a member, of course, but if you don't want to do that, fine. Just sign up for the email list. It doesn't cost you a dime, and all you got to do is a click and let these people know that you're not going to put up with it anymore. And thank you for this week's opportunity to speak to you. I'm sure Mike will be joining us next week. Thanks.